Got you guys. It's a dummy unit iPad, but I bet you thought it was real. Yeah, no, it's not real. This is a fake iPad. But we do have some really real rumors, I think, today for iPadOS 14. WWDC just a couple of days away now. We're gonna know the answers to all this, but I don't know about you guys. I like a preview. I like to know what's coming, so that's what we're talking about today for iPadOS 14. If you guys are excited for the video, word on the street is that you should drop a like down below and hit subscribe for more. All right, let's go ahead and jump into iPadOS 14. But before doing that, just want to recognize that today is Juneteenth, an incredibly important holiday that should be celebrated nationally, and it's the final hours for my NAACP fundraiser, an organization that for over 100 years has been fighting for the end of racial injustice and discrimination, and it's amazing. So I just hope you guys can donate. If you haven't already, your last chance, it ends tomorrow. Now, I want to be clear, these are going to be iPad-specific features. Obviously, some of the stuff from iOS 14, like translation in Safari, for example, is going to carry over to iPadOS certainly as well, but these are like exclusive things that should just be coming to iPadOS, which makes them more intriguing, a little bit more exciting. More than 80% likely is the ability for Apple Pencil to be able to write into any text field now and then have that transform into text, which is pretty cool. So let me grab my pencil right here. So instead of having to type, hello, my name is Sam, I run a YouTube channel, I can just write that stuff down. Who knows, maybe it could even do cursive. This is pretty cool though, because it is kind of weird to have to go from pencil, if you're using it to use the screen, and then type. You'll be able to do it all at once now. So you're scrolling through a page, you're writing something down, and you're sending it at the same time. I think this is actually really cool, and there isn't any super good native way to do this yet. Also for the Apple Pencil though, in Safari, there is full markup support now. I think it's like halfway there on iPadOS 13, which is an argument that I would make about iPadOS in general, to be honest. Like, some stuff is really good. It still can't replace my computer. Could this be the year that things finally get better? I mean, I want to be able to do some editing on my iPad, and going into the next couple of rumors, there's actually a pretty good chance that's going to be happening at some point in the next year. These come according to John Prosser, who says that Final Cut Pro, Apple's professional editing suite, Logic Pro, Apple's professional audio suite, and Xcode, what developers use to create Mac apps and iOS apps. It's all coming to the iPad. Now, I know that's hard to believe because this is like a dream come true, but there are some questions, right? I don't know why I'm still holding the pencil. I feel like a teacher or like, welcome to the Disney Channel. Because it feels like there has to be limitations, and that goes back to what I just said. I feel like iPadOS just, it isn't there yet. To be clear though, Apple might not announce these at WWDC. I very well could see them showing off, but they might wait because John Prosser says they're coming at some point for sure in the next year. So I think it's by like March or April of 2021 we'll see them. But on stage, they might decide to skip them. So if you don't see it, don't be like, he said they were coming. No, I said they're coming within a year, Buster Brown. So let's get a hold of ourselves, okay? This is just iPad software. The world has many, many bigger problems. Moving on, this next stuff is less than 50% likely based on the following sources: credibility ratings on my site AppleTrack. But hey, it's still some interesting stuff, and I guarantee that some of it will be happening. It lines up with what we've talked about for iOS 14 in a lot of cases. Apple's working on more extensive trackpad and mouse support. We don't really have any detail as to what this means, but it's pretty good already. Like, I have a hard time finding out what Apple could do to improve other than maybe a better right click, and for hardware, making the trackpad a little bit bigger, but that's also tough when you're working with an iPad that, you know, isn't that big to begin with. Inside of the Notes app, and going along with what we talked about, being able to write to text in any text field, you'll be able to do calculations. So you could do math and like write it out with your pencil, but then you'll be able to annotate that automatically and have Apple perform calculations for you, which is really, really cool. Like, if I was a kid in grade school, that would have been a lifesaver. Give me an iPad all day. You know, it probably wouldn't be great for learning, but it'd be really great for a kid. And there might also be some drawing assist as well, perhaps for more precision. The same source from these past few rumors, the verifier, also says that widgets are coming to the home screen. Now, keep in mind, on the iPad, widgets are on the home screen, but that's not something that exists in iOS 14. Maybe this year you could drag them around, do something more expansive, because Apple redesigned the home screen in iPadOS 13, you know, the one that looks like this. I mean, it looks nice, but I haven't used the same, like, there's the same widgets that have been here since iOS 8 that I still don't use. I don't really get use of these widgets because they're always out of the way, or even when they're in my face, they don't offer that great functionality because they're like extensions of apps rather than apps that expand into something more helpful. I'm personally most excited for calculator and weather apps apparently finally coming, and they do say these will be apps. I have just as good of a guess as you as to why this hasn't happened yet, but this was also rumored last year, And I don't actually know if it's ever going to end up coming. Like if in the first 13 versions of the iPad or whatnot, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit. Why didn't they add it before? Just fingers crossed that this finally happens, because I'm tired of going on my iPhone or like downloading a separate calculator app on my iPad just to figure out the information I want to know. For UI changes here, we're supposed to see like more rounded corners and less straight edges, which you can kind of see Apple has been doing every single year, and the status bar icons are supposed to be getting redesigned. I don't know if that's to make it more similar to how they look on the Mac, or maybe more helpful than just like a little airplane icon. And finally, there may be some small tweaks to how gestures work, although I don't really want Apple to change anything there. I love the iPhone 10 style swipe up, swipe over. I mean, on an all-screen device like the iPad, it's absolutely amazing. I love the experience of using the iPad, especially with the 120 Hz display. Man, that stuff is buttery smooth, better than Betty Crocker could ever do. And these final rumors are from a source with no track record yet, which means that they haven't gotten anything right yet. They also haven't gotten anything wrong yet. So, you know, take these with what you will, but these are some of the most exciting ones in my book. Multi-user support, like proper multi-user support, could be coming, and after so many years, that'd be really helpful. I mean, Apple even supported it back in the day with like iOS 9.3 or something for classrooms. They support it for kids in the classroom, but they don't support it for kids at home. A lot of families only have one iPad though, so this would be really, really helpful, but it could be part of Apple's, big brain strategy. If we don't have multi-users, everybody needs a separate iPad. That's just more cha-ching in our bank. So, I mean, I don't agree with that, but that could be why they haven't done it yet. You know how you can do 2 apps side by side? Wait a minute, hold up. What if we could do 3 in iPadOS 14? All right, that's apparently what it's looking like. Here's a mock-up of that. And it makes sense because you can run these iPhone-sized apps side by side and you can do like slide over, which is technically third, but we've never had proper, app by app support. So hopefully we see that. Next up for Siri, apparently it might be getting a minimized UI, meaning that it won't take up your whole display. Siri's finally going away, going up in probably to the top right or top left corner of your screen. And hopefully this happens on the iPhone as well with like a minimized call UI, so it doesn't get in the way of whatever we're doing. And finally on the home screen, in case you want to use an app there, slide view may be supported henceforth. I like saying henceforth, it sounds really cool. I don't really see the benefit in this myself. I can just go into an app, but I mean, hey, if it's like a big widget, I hear the word widget, I am in, dude. And that's everything that we know about iPadOS 14 right now. I'll keep you guys updated in the coming days ahead of WWDC, but that's all for now. And we're seeing some mediocre updates. Like I said before, though, I have a feeling a lot hasn't been shared and that we're going to get some good stuff in the future. All right, that's all for now. Love you guys. Hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you in my next video.